border confrontation between the federal government of the United States and the state of Texas seems to be getting out of control. It seems that the state of Texas, under the Republican governor, is determined to fight off the federal troops which want to reclaim the ultimate control of the border between Texas and Mexico. Under the Constitution of the United States of America, the federal government retains the ultimate responsibility for diplomacy and the border control. Indeed, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people from south of the border between the United States and Mexico who want to come over to the United States, mainly because of higher living standards and easiness of finding a job. However, the danger of confrontation between the federal troops versus the National Guards of Texas, and there are altogether 26 states controlled by the Republicans, which now side with Texas, and they are even mobilizing their own National Guards to send them to Texas, to the border region, to protect the so-called legitimate interests of Texas. Now, whether this showdown will eventually end in bloodshed or greater bloodshed, or even division of the Union into two different parts, or as some politicians in the United States are now claiming, that there is the time for the United States to be divided up into two parts, one controlled by the Democrats, the other part controlled by the Republicans, or whether this bodes very badly for the future of the United States, from being the United States of America to what the economists claim to be disunited states of America, or whether this bodes very badly for a potential civil war. And further, in the United States, the Latino part of the US population actually has one of the most rigorous growth rates in populations. And it is expected that in a matter of decades, the Latino group of the US population will become the largest part of the US population. Therefore, I think it is true that in the United States, there are other politicians who do not want to confront this particular problem because they worry about the Latino votes. They want to get the support of the Latino population in their local communities so that they can be elected politicians in different parts of the United States. Therefore, regardless of what will be the solution of this clash between Texas, aided by about 25 other states, and the federal government, I think this immigration or illegal immigration problem, meaning hundreds of thousands of people from south of the border between the United States and Mexico, will keep plaguing the United States in the coming decades. This showdown involving the border issues and the control of the border between Texas and the federal government is becoming a showcase for the polarization in the United States. Now, Donald Trump says he will do exactly opposite of what President Biden is doing. He said, rather than sending in federal troops, I will send in all the federal assistance to enable Texas to do what it is doing right now. That is to close the border, build the wall, and repatriate or send back all these illegal immigrants. He's quoting the number of about 7 million illegal immigrants in the United States who Donald Trump threatens to send out of the country. Donald Trump threatens that the United States should no longer be a haven for all these criminals, drug dealers, rapists, to using his term. And he would say, let's close the border. Let's focus on what he says, higher quality immigration with money, with skill, with discipline, who can really contribute to the economic development of the United States. For the United States to claim that immigrants, for example, are composed of criminals, for example, is really an injustice in itself. I think this difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden versus the immigration or illegal immigrant issue will probably become one of the most important points of differences between these two candidates. And I think this will be a very sensational issue for the American population to vote upon. And other things being equal, I'm afraid Donald Trump probably will carry the day because he's appealing to the populist sentiments of many people in the United States who do not want to see all these illegal immigrants throwing into the United States at zero cost to themselves, almost, but at huge cost to the US society at large. Therefore, this issue is not a simple, straightforward issue to be decided at all. Maybe it will result in bloodshed, and this bloodshed, if ever it happens, may actually cause a domino effect, not only in the state of Texas, but in other parts of the United States. And the fact that 26 states altogether have signed up with the state of Texas to oppose the federal troops intrusion into the state of Texas really does not bode well. And it may eventually lead to more confrontation, more bloodshed, and whether it will eventually lead to a civil war, I do not know. I hope it will not, because otherwise it may really spell the final ultimate demise of the United States of America, leading and resulting in the disunited States of America, as The Economist predicted. On the other hand, there is an obvious attempt by the US government to reinstitute whatever that remains of the Monroe Doctrine, meaning they want to exercise maximum control of the countries in America to the south of the United States, being North America, Central America, and South America, and try to prevent other major countries from doing normal businesses with these countries. And the whole issue involving these illegal immigrants is now being used as a political football between the Democrats versus the Republicans. Their ultimate game and their goal is not to find a good solution to this issue, but to try their best to maximize their votes in their own political elections, try to boost their chance of hanging on to political power.